Hey everybody, this is Joe and I'm here in my Houston, Texas garden, and I'm in zone 9A, and I think I've finally gotten the all clear from the weatherman that it's not going to freeze anymore, probably, in Houston this winter. So I've started putting some new things in already, and I started clipping a few things down. And so, but my first thing I'm going to show you is my Facebook Marketplace score. I met a lovely young woman who had too many flower pots on Facebook Marketplace, but she had lost a bunch of plants that were outside during a freeze over Christmas. And so she was looking for cuttings, and I was able to go over and trade her cuttings for amazing, huge flower pots. And really, she would have just given me as many as I wanted, and this is what I took. There's one more. I've already put something in. And she was adorable, and so it was super fun to do a trade-off with a fellow gardener. So there's my little stash. Well, of course, my little seedlings, some of, they're looking pretty good. It's going to be 36 tonight, and I've been putting them in the garage. But I really think I'm going to have to start over on some things. Like these little, these are little violas. They've been in the ground, they've been planted a long time, and they should be much bigger than that. I think that the soil was just too cold when I planted them, and I think it's just stunted their growth. So a lot of this, I'm going to start from scratch and just do a second round, which is fine because I have basically only used about a half a packet of seeds for each kind, and so I should have enough to really redo all of these again. I'll probably wait until these have a little more little better roots on them. Go ahead and put them in the ground if they look like they're going to make it all right, and then start again with some new seedlings. So I may have just started. I shouldn't have started things as early as I did. Some of these I think will be fine, but anyway, so I'll show you my most exciting thing, my favorite thing out here. This is Echinacea pallida, and it is the coolest coneflower. This is my sign that my friend Hallie gave me. Thank you, Hallie. This I have bought seed and grown some from seed. This one that's beautiful and big and bushy and blooming, I actually bought as a plant online. It is not native to Texas. I don't think. It's more like native to Kansas. It's a real, wonderful native prairie flower, native to the United States. And so I'm super excited about that. And I have a few more, and I have some little baby ones that I've put up. Well, a lot of things are green, popping up, and looking terrific. I have not trimmed back. You can see the stalks on there. I have not trimmed those all down yet because I wasn't sure if it was going to freeze again, and so I didn't want to cut things down too soon. But I'm going to show you the other reason that I'm waiting, and I've learned something this week. So I'm not going to trim things down because, especially if I have plants that have either hollow stems, here we go, hollow stems, or have a stem that has a soft middle that can be dug out by an insect. There might be little insects overwintering inside of there, and it really needs to warm up significantly for them to sort of, hatch out. And bees can be in the, it's 450, helicopter, sorry. There are 450 something native bees in the United States, and a lot of them will nest or lay little eggs in hollow sticks, hollow little branches. But what I want to do is, like, I broke this off and it probably doesn't have anybody in it. I will leave that. I'll maybe cut that to here instead of to the ground. I will cut that, and of course it'll get, as soon as this is a black and blue salvia, as soon as that grows up, it'll cover it, but that will leave There's Miss Stoutfire making a racket. There she is. That will leave nesting places for them next year. So I will actually leave that for the whole year, but it will be hidden. I'll trim it down to about 8 or 10 inches. And after I think everything has if it's been warm enough for anything to hatch out of these stems. But I will still only cut it to here and let it be available for creatures next winter as well. So, things we learn. I threw seeds out. They've all popped up. I don't know what those are. I've lost track. At this point, I've thrown so many seeds out here, I've just lost track. This is my Caldwell Pink Rose, and I really cut it back hard this year. I just waited until this week. Usually we cut on Valentine's Day. I kind of wanted to wait a little longer and watch the weather before I went ahead and really pruned things. And so I probably cut at least half of that bush off. But then, and it looked terrible. Meanwhile, this is nearly wild rose. I never trimmed it, and it's already blooming. It looks great. It just is so funny. Different varieties are just going to bloom whether it's gotten really warm outside or not. So that one is beautiful. And then I've got a lot of little seedlings coming up, and these are my big carrots. They're going to get big and tall and fluffy and be wonderful, and I'm excited about those. And then I had that beautiful buddleia last year, and it died. And I think they just can't take the heat. But, for the price of, a flat of pansies, I can buy one gallon pot of a dwarf buddleia and just, treat it like an annual. And if it dies in the summer, I had one last 2 years, one lasted 1 year. If I have to replace it every year, that's okay with me. It's still worth it to have a huge, 5x5, 4x5 bush of incredible flowers all summer. So that's worth it to me. Now, what else can I show you? Oh, all of this I'm leaving. This is a plumbago, Cape plumbago. That is a salvia amistad. You can see it's coming up, but I haven't trimmed the top. And then way back in the back is the fire spike. And I'm waiting I've got a yard guy coming to help me. And that's what old lady tendonitis does to your clipper arm, right? Somebody else is gonna have to cut all that down for me. But I'm gonna wait another week or two for that. And this is some kind of crazy, I threw the seed out for this. I don't know what that's gonna be, but I'm excited to find out. And then this is fennel that I grow for butterflies, for the black swallowtail butterflies. And it overwintered. It was fine. It died kind of to the ground, but it's really come back and it's beautiful. You can see it kind of has a thick stem, and that was sort of what was left after the freeze. It looks fantastic. And then the same butterflies will eat parsley, and so this is parsley. It always looks terrific in the winter. It's such a cool weather crop. And then I've got parsley from last year coming up in the gravel, and I've got Texas bluebonnets there, and then I have a little snowflake right there. Some of them come up, they come back year to year, but not profusely. There's probably 6 or 7 bulbs in there, but only one is flowering. So, I take what I can get. And then another thing that's done really well, even though it's been cold, this is new. I just put this in, maybe right before Christmas. This is a nepeta, I'm not sure how to say it, catmint, which I grew a long time ago in College Station, Texas. And I'm hoping that this will be purple and come out sort of onto the gravel, into the walkway, just sort of flop over and have some pretty flowers. I watched somebody's video, and they talked about sort of breaking up the line, right? So instead of having this super sharp edge, to have something sort of break your sight line, having plants, vines or things coming out over the edge. And I like that. I like that as well. And then I've spent a lot of time in the garden. If you're like me, you have old ratty tools as your garden tools. I've put in a ton of stuff. These are little daylilies. I've been limping along all year, and I picked this spot to put them in. I hope they'll do well. And these are some of the things that did well from seed. They finally come up in lots of little violas. And then here's a fabulous daylily that's looking good. It's done really well all winter. And here's Nearly Wild. It is the best rose. If you like a single rose, I am telling you, this is the best rose. It never gets black spot. Through the freeze, I didn't cover it. This has been through the freeze. I didn't lose any of it during the freeze. There are so many roses that I've lost most of. This thing in the freeze in December. This thing is just solid as a rock. I cannot recommend it more. It is a fantastic rose. And so good for all this, all the Texas humidity, Houston humidity. I just put this in. This is a Stokes aster. It's a native Texas plant. I think this is a cultivar though. Now that I saw the sign, the tag after I planted it. So it's a nativar, I think is the word they're using. But I put those in. I have never grown those before. This is new. This is a pink skullcap. And I hope it does well there. I've never grown skullcap before, and it's a native Texas plant as well. I'm trying super hard to buy native plants. And when things start to really bloom and leaf out even, I'll do a little video just on the native plants that I've put in. Here's another rose that just shook it off. Here's a better. All three of these are 290 pink buttons, and they just, I didn't cover them, and look how green and full. I never trimmed them. This is random from something else. I never even trim them back or prune them in any way. I cut a little bit of brown off of one, but they just look this fantastic. Here it is, still the middle of February. And look how pretty. Isn't that beautiful? It's just a tiny, tiny little rose. This is that Peter's purple monarda that was so stunning last year, and it had wandered around, and so I dug it up out from under everything and had wandered off. But the middle had collapsed, and so I took those pieces and put them in the middle. And so you can see my new 1, 2, 3. And I did that yesterday, and they just look great. They didn't seem to mind getting moved at all. And then I've got a little, this is a salvia here. That's the big blue, just little green popping up. Here are more of those unknown wildflowers. 2 of them came up. I don't know what they are. And there are my carrots. And I'm getting ready to take this. It's so cool. I'm getting ready to take it down this week. And then another rose that absolutely did not care about the cold. This is Clotilde Super. And oh my goodness, look at that. I'm on there. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And the whole little bush just looks wonderful, beautiful. I've got some delphiniums, and then my favorite little scabiosa. I just love this little powder puffs. Look at that pincushion flower, and it looks beautiful. I did have to replace it. It died. I had a patch like this last year, and it didn't make it through the heat. But again, this was worth it to me. It looked so beautiful for so long. It was worth it to me to buy another one and put it in again. And then I got 2 little roses here that are Rockwall Sesquicentennial, and I lost a third one, but I've already ordered it from the Antiques Rose Emporium. And then here, to encourage you, if you are growing fennel for butterflies, I just threw those seeds out, and they just seeded really, really well. Just direct seed. I think I put them out in November maybe, and they just did really well. And then, I've got a couple of little things also. It's Amy, which is It's this big, tall, fluffy, it looks a lot like the carrots will. I grew it last year, and this is finally sort of taken off here. And then I put a little bit more in under this little cage so I wouldn't step on it. And then I'll just show you, my phone is running out of battery, so I'm just going to show you a couple more things. This are those beautiful fall asters, those purple asters that were so amazing. And this is the second year I've had them, and I didn't realize, look how much they have spread. Look at this. So I just trimmed back last year's growth, and I didn't have any idea that it was going to just be this amazing, spread everywhere. So apparently I'm going to have a lot of it. It was so beautiful. So I'm all excited about that. And then I thought I had lost all the obedient plant, but some has shown back up, not where I planted it, but I'm just happy it's there. And then, two more things I'll show you before I end. The ivy geraniums, oh my goodness. Now this one looks pretty. It's doing really well, and it's that hot pink. So if I can get it in focus for you, with the dark spot on the leaf, and that's doing really well. But this one, oh my goodness, it's about to go completely nuts. Look at that thing. Wow. It's just so pretty. The flowers are so pretty. It's looking so good, but you can see all the buds that are coming, and it's just going to be in another week or so. It's going to be spectacular. And then there's another one right there. The last thing I'm going to show you, there is a native Texas columbine. It really doesn't do well in this part of Texas, but I grow it as an annual, and I threw this. So actually I bought some new, all this sort of grayish leaves in here. I just put those in today. But I noticed I had it down here last year, and I looked this week. I was back here getting ready to weed all this out. These are all columbine seedlings, all in the gravel. And I am so excited, I can't even explain to you. So if they bloom and are incredible, I'm just gonna die and go to heaven. I'm so excited about it. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed this little look. There's so much going on, I could make a 3-hour video of all the cool stuff going on. Here is Gulf Coast penstemon to say goodbye. You guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.